Welcome to week 6 of NFL Pub Hub. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We have a packed show. We are 2 hours away from kickoff. I lost my bet on Thursday night. But those of you who watched Betting with the Bag on Friday, I hope you guys all made a ton of money on the BC Lions last night. I did, and I know a lot of my friends did. My family did. I hope you guys came with us. It was a gift. There are gifts. There are certain gifts that happen in leagues at times. And when we found out that the Bombers were resting everybody, we hammered the Lions. I'm excited about this NFL card here. I have 4 bets, 2 games that I've doubled up on, and I'm going up against the Sharps. So I'm a little nervous there. Also, part of the reason why I was so high on the Colts was I expected Shaquille Darius Leonard to be back in the lineup. That is not the case. So my looks, 49ers first quarter -0.5, 49ers first half -3 at -110, Patriots +3 and Patriots team total over 19.5, and the Colts -2. I'm kind of nervous about it. I also have Dallas, Philadelphia under 42. That is the situation here. Jose, can you send the links out? We had a bit of a slow start this morning, and we apologize for that. For our Pubs Sports Radio Circa Millions ticket, we're sitting 14-11, and we're going up against the Sharps in all of these bets, except for the Jets. Jets isn't Sharps are on the Jets, but the Buccaneers is a weird situation because we've seen a bunch of big bets and sharp action on the Steelers. But the market's moved towards the Bucs. Now, not that much, and it's moved back, but that is a bit of a strange situation. But Pub Sports Radio Circa Millions, Bengals -1.5, Cowboys +6, Buccaneers -8, Jets +7, and the 49ers -5.5. Shout out to all the cappers joining us in the chat. We have a packed show. We start off with a bang. We got LJ from Houston joining us first. Then Domi Gun Richie opening up his account here on NFL Pub Hub. Then we have Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, Jacksonville Zoo, Connor Mack. Connor Mack had a great week in his last appearance here on the show. And then Sharpie. Sharpie will be our final guest, and that will lead us into Sharpie's new show here, the Pub Zone. So he'll be on NFL Red Zone, and he'll be going through all the games with everyone live here on Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to everybody joining us, Jedi for Life. The last few days I've been noticing that my fucking bullshit fucking LASIK eye surgery that I got maybe 9 years ago, it's failing. It's fucking failing. It's failing. Just even looking at these now, I'm like, oh, fuck, this is going to cost me $5,000. Big Daddy Boom in the house, and you should be able to get the Ravens -5.5, which is much better. Yes, Ravens. Sharps are all over the Ravens. We're going to go over all the sharp cash. We're going to go through all the injuries. Everything will be here for you guys. This is the Sunday morning show where we go over all market moves, all injuries, and then we have 6 cappers giving us their best bets. Mike M says Eagles by 100. We got Rodney here. Eagles full game team total under. And you know, I have no problem with that. I'm not moving on the Cowboys. I know a bunch of sharp guys who are, although the Sharps are on the Eagles in a big way. We'll go over which spots have the most sharp money, all of that stuff. Jedi for Life, Miami, Minnesota over. Only play you need today from Jedi for Life. Yes, the line from our Dennis Garcia, a.k.a. Sky Dragon, picking up. There's Leaf Federchak. He's got Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, first half under 23, Baltimore -5.5, New England, Cleveland over 43.5. Justin Irvin in the house. Thank you for joining us, Justin. Big day ahead of us. King Oo. Ready to get to work. Slatsy with Jimmy on the 49ers first quarter and first half. The Shanahan script. If this one cashes, then I just don't see how they're all gonna cash, because the Sharps are all over the Falcons, move towards the Falcons, and we're still taking the 49ers early. And if it cashes here, when won't it cash? I like the idea that they spent the week together in West Virginia, didn't go back west. But this is all shaping up for it not to work for us, Slatsy. And if it works here, then God, I hope it cashes, because Slatsy rolling with me. Big Daddy Boom ready to get to work. Danny Lopez says, thanks, Pop Sports, for making this happen. We love you. Thank Danny Lopez. We wouldn't be able to do it if you didn't support it. So thank you. All right, the guys are getting ready to work. Let's see, MDR 24, San Francisco first quarter, first half. I just hope, we just keep cashing. And if you're not betting it with the house's money, it makes me a little nervous. But it just keeps cashing. And I'm telling you, if this one cashes, they're all going to fucking cash. They're all going to cash. Big Daddy Boom also on the Bengals. So the Saints, this Saints squad now without Olave. Let's move over here right now to the Saints spot. I just want to see what the most recent. Wow, I've now become 3-point dogs. Unbelievable. Because the Sharps were on the Saints all week. I don't know if they expected Olave to clear protocols, but wow, wild. Okay, we got to get to work. D. Jenkins mulling that first quarter plus 115. I got it plus 100. The market's moving heavily against us. I'm really nervous about that spot. I'm not going to lie to you. It makes me uncomfortable. I bet it because I felt like I had to bet it. I've just been cashing on it, and it's the house's money. But we're going to talk about that game a few times here with our cappers joining us, so we can make decisions whether we think it's definitely the right thing to do. There's our guys all ready to rock. Lamont Williams, 2 soccer plays. Real Madrid under 3.5. Liverpool under 3.5. There's my guy Nuke Worker in the house. Eric Jones, Tom Leach, Lamont Williams. Big Ragu, 62 in the house. Tom Leach catching with Oregon State last night. I love it. Okay, we got to get to work. I wish I could give you guys all a what up. There's not applicable in the house. Kevin Lee, Walla Walla Dose. Yeah, thanks, man. It's okay. It lasted a little bit. Lasted long enough. Astute Chaos. Nothing. We've talked about nothing so far. I wish I could give you guys all what ups and check out your action. Jose will highlight your action as the show goes on. But right now, it's time to get to work. It is time to get to work. And we bring on your first guest, starting with a bang. I like to have a strong capper off the top. Let's get right to work. Coming to us from Houston. Last week, week 4, he went 4-3 plus 0.92 units. He started off with a bang week 1 and then struggled with weeks 2 and 3. Right now, he's 15-16, down 1.63 units. One big day here will get you in the top 5. 5th right now in our Pub Sports top cappers list is just plus 0.97 units. Although overall, we're up as a group. Healthy. But the one nice week here, and LJ will be in the top 5. Please welcome to the show from H-Town, LJ in the house. LJ, how are you, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy? 15-16, huh? Man, that's not good, Jimmy. I don't like that at all. It's time to get back on the winning streak, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it right here and right now, LJ. We get to work with the Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. That's where you are starting. Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll start with the line history in this one. And I moved on the Colts. I thought Darius Leonard was going to be, or Shaquille Leonard was going to be on the field. That's not the case. So the Colts were minus 2.5. I got in minus 2. They went to minus 2.5, and I felt very good about myself. That minus 2.5 was as of yesterday at noon. Then at 7 o'clock at night yesterday, a big move towards the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Colts are now 1-point favorites. This total opened up at 40.5. It's now at 41. When we go over to the cash flow in this one, I fucking hate when we're making almost bets on concussion protocol situations where I have no inside information, and it looks like this could blow up in my face. 94,168 tickets in, 62% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on Jacksonville. Then we have 33% of tickets, 90% cash on the under, yet it's gone up a half point. The Jaguars have Zay Jones with an ankle injury questionable and Marvin Jones with a hamstring injury questionable from their wide receiving group. Those guys got 19 targets in week 5. Christian Kirk was hard to find out there, 3 targets. If they're unavailable, obviously Christian Kirk's usage goes up, but I don't know who has the most the most recent information on the two receivers. And then Foye Alukin, the outside linebacker, is also questionable. For the Colts, Taylor and Hines are both questionable. Their Ryan Kelly has been cleared. Their center's been cleared. That's a big, big deal. Defensive end Kwity Paye is out, and Shaquille Leonard is out. All right, LJ, my guy, the floor is yours. How are you getting paid in Jaguars Colts?
You have Taylor and Hines questionable because I have them out.
Are they
what
out
I
now?
checked? Yeah, I checked that they're out. Like, I don't know. It may be a game time decision, but I capped this game as them being out. But far as the game, Jacksonville has trouble in Indianapolis, man. They haven't won since 2017 in this building. And even though they managed to cover the spread, though, you know, the Colts only covered one time. So Jacksonville has lost 13 straight in the division as an opponent. But Jimmy, I got burned on Jacksonville last week versus the Texans. You know, I should have been more aware because the Texans have owned Jacksonville the last couple of years. But I'm jumping back on the bandwagon, man. I don't think the Colts can beat this team, considering the Colts are only averaging 13 points a game, which is dead last in the NFL. Matt Ryan has been sacked 21 times, 7 interceptions, 11 fumbles, which is worse than the NFL. His offensive line is weak. I just don't see it, man. Yards per play, they're 4.5, which is dead last. Yards per rush, which is 3, that's second last. 75 rushing, which is second last. Now, if Jonathan Taylor plays,
He's
He's
out.
out.
You're right.
Okay.
Taylor and Hines are out.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to muster up any offense to be able to compete with Jacksonville today. And Jacksonville coming off that loss against the Texans last week, I think they're going to be ready to perform. They know that their record in this division on the road, 13 straight. I think they're looking to bounce back and end this streak. The Colts are allowing only 18 points on defense, which is top 5. So that's the only thing that I feel that they can do to compete in this game. Cause some turnovers on Trevor Lawrence because he's had 3 interceptions and 4 fumbles in the last 2 games. He's had trouble the last 2 games. So that's the only way I feel the Colts can have a chance to be in this game. But the fact that they are a minus 25 in point differential and the Jaguars are plus 31, I don't see any way the Colts having a chance to win this game unless the score is close and the total is low. Now, my prop bet of this game is Riley Patterson over 1.5 field goals because he's leading the league at 4 a game for the Jaguars. I'm going to take that prop for sure. Now, can I trust Trevor Lawrence can get a couple touchdowns? I don't know. He can, he may not. I don't know. But I'm going to take that prop for sure. But I'm going to take Jacksonville first half because I've learned in these past couple of weeks that if we're going to take these teams on these spreads, you might as well take them in the first half because we're seeing a trend that they can't hold these leads in the second half. You know, they jump on them early and they tend to digress in the second half, which is going to be a trend of mine in these other picks that I'm going to make. So I'm going to take Jacksonville first half. I don't know the number. You know, you probably can bring it up for me, but I'm going to take Jacksonville first half, and I'm just going to get in and I'm going to get out. But I'm going to take the Riley Patterson prop for sure as my prop bet for this game, and I'm going to take Jacksonville first half. I don't know the number.
I'll grab those numbers for you. What was your feeling with Deion Jackson last week? Ran 13 times for 62 yards, caught 4 passes for 29 yards. I thought he looked good. Now, I don't know what he's going to look like week 2 when he knows he's going in. What are your thoughts on what you saw from him last week?
The Colts? You talking about Jacksonville's running back? Or
no, the Colts for the Colts with last week. Mm-hmm. We had Taylor out, and then Hines got concussed immediately. Mm-hmm. And then in came Deion Jackson, who looked really good, shockingly. I thought it was obviously the game went way under, but I thought they were just in so much trouble once Hines went down. And then Deion Jackson looked pretty good, I thought he looked pretty good. Do you feel like that was a one-time only situation? Because with the Colts getting their center back and Ryan Kelly cleared –
but the Texans don't have a good run defense, and Jaguars got a good defense. They're top 5, like I said. So I don't see them running on that defense much as they did on the Texans. So the only way, like I said, that they are going to be able to compete in this game is to cause turnovers on Trevor Lawrence the same way that the Texans did. And I see Jacksonville causing more turnovers on the coast, considering how Matt Ryan has been playing. And his offensive line is weak. He doesn't have time to throw. He can throw an interception. He can fumble with the pass rush that's coming. And that rookie on Jacksonville, that linebacker, I don't know his name off my top of my head right now, but he's a monster. So he's going to cause some havoc today. And like I said, Jacksonville knows that they've lost 13 straight on the road in this division. So I know that that's on their mind, and they're going to be coming out to make a statement today, considering how they lost last week versus the Texans. So I'm going to jump on Jacksonville today, but I'm only going to take the first half because I can't trust the full game, considering how these teams have been digressing in the second half.
I will line shop for the Patterson over 1.5 field goals. The best line we can get you with Jaguars first half is plus 105.
Okay. I'm with it.
You are in business here. You are in business. And Brian Stovall says taking the field goals is better odds and less risk instead of money line for them Jags. Alvin Smith is staying away. There's Coco Bongo in the house. Bo Jackson said Jags are 1-4 against AFC South in week 6. Eric Jones on the Colts -2, screaming Colts, Colts, Colts. Kevin Lee says Colts have a better defense. Tom Leach says the Jags own the Colts. And Craig Wood saying 33% of ticket. When we broke down the numbers on the total, 90% of the cash on the under, and yet it moves up a half point. We've seen those late moves be a real indication of what's about to come. And the fact that the books are giving you an even better number to go underneath right now, I'd be pretty hesitant to move on that under. Craig Wood has a 71% system on the Jags play today. There's razor sharp picks in the house. Alex Gagnon says hard to love the Jags after Texans nearly shut them out. And Turnsey is on the over in that game. Coco Bongo, spectacular work. That pick 6, you must have lost your mind at the game. All right, so we move on to the second spot on the board for you. What up, Big Show picks in the house as well. The next spot for LJ is the New York Jets at Green Bay Packers, 48 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 10 miles per hour. Both teams are reasonably healthy. Outside linebacker Quincy Williams is cleared from his ankle injury. They're still dealing with offensive tackle Dwayne Brown's shoulder injury is questionable. And then for the Packers, their offensive line is fortified. Elgin Jenkins cleared. David Bakhtiari cleared. Both will be in the lineup. And then Rashawn Gary still questionable with the toe injury. That's where we stand right now. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow. Great to see Spenny Penny Bombs in the house as well. Spenny, we've missed you. Here we go. Jets, Packers. We have, of course, this opening up at 7.5. And it's back at 7.5, surprisingly. Wow. So when did this move back to? I thought this had moved to 7 at most books. It looked like that 7.5 for the Jets 3 days ago was minus 122. Now and then it was plus 102 this morning. Wow, what a wild move. Packers taking the late money. Let's take a look at the total here. Opened up at 45, now 45.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow with this one. We have, here we go, just under 130,000 tickets in, and there's no real side hammered. 54% of the tickets, 57% of the cash on the Jets, then 17% of the tickets, 36% of cash on the under. This one is tricky. Take it away for us, LJ. Jets, Packers.
Yeah, Packers coming back home after that London loss versus the Giants. So we're expecting to bounce back against the Jets, right? Not so fast. Jets looking pretty good to me, man. Very competitive. I like the culture that Robert Saleh has brought to this team. You know, this is a never give up mentality, and I'm liking it. I paid attention to the Jets the last couple of weeks. They've won 3 out of the last 4. Zach Wilson showing great development. Playmakers like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall has given this Jets an added dimension, which brings me to my first prop of this game. Breece Hall over 59.5 rushing yards, minus 114, because Green Bay is allowing 126 rushing yards on the season, 173 yards at home, which is second last in the NFL. Brees Hall is averaging 63 rushing yards in his last 4 games, averaging 58 yards rushing on the road. And the Jets are averaging 103 rushing yards in the last 3 games. Now, the Jets are looking to attack that Packers weak rush defense. And I'm thinking that the pass rush is going to get at Aaron Rodgers because the Jets have had 7 sacks and 31 quarterback hits in the last 3 games. Now, the Jets have won 2 straight road games so far this year. The last time that they have won 3 straight road games was 2010 with Mark Sanchez in that AFC Championship season. Now, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's been the same this year. He doesn't have the same weapons that he's usually had. Him and his coach hasn't been on the same page, as of yet. And I really feel that when they go into the second half, they tend to digress. Now, the Jets tend to accelerate in the second half. And I love the adjustments that they make. Their defense is playing well. They have 2 cornerbacks, one that they drafted this year that's playing outstanding. And I love the mentality, like I just mentioned, that they have. So I really broke down this game, Jimmy, and I went through the numbers. The Packers are 9-0 ATS straight up after a loss under Matt LaFleur. 8 wins by double digits. 11-2 at home versus the AFC since 2010. 16-3 straight up in their last 19 games at home. The Jets are 1-8 in their last 9 games versus an NFC on the road. But I am going to do this. Aaron Rodgers is 23-5 versus the AFC at home in his career, but he's only covered 5 points in the last 3 games at home versus the AFC. So I'm going to be sneaky, and I'm going to take the Jets team total over 17.5 because I do feel that they could cover this points, but I'm thinking the referees may come into play in this game and cost the Jets those points. And let's just say the Packers win by 8 and cover that spread. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to take that chance. So I'm going to take the points, but I really feel the Jets are going to play because, like I said, the Jets are top 5 in scoring in the second half, averaging 13 points in the last 3 games. The Packers are bottom 5 in scoring in the second half, averaging 6 points in their last 3 games. So I'm going to just trust that the Jets can score 17 points because the Packers have given up 17 points in the last 3 games in the second half, in the last 3 games. So I'm going to trust the Jets score 17 points. So that's my play.
Team total over 17.5
for the Jets.
Yeah, it's at minus 103 at Pinnacle right now. So we'll lock you in there. And what did you get the Brees Hall prop at?
Minus 114.
And how much? Sorry, what was the yards?
59.5.
Over 59.5. Rush minus 115. You are in business. We move on. Next up for us, Ravens Giants. 63 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, no wind, almost no wind whatsoever. Twatty, I'll keep a very close eye on that, but I think that, I mean, we'll go over that. We're going to talk about that game, but I feel like you're in a good spot there. Let's take a look at the line history here with Ravens Giants. We know that the Sharps have been all over the Ravens all week. So we have, pull this up. Here we go. These Ravens open up as 4.5-point favorites. They went to 6. They were at 6-point favorites at midnight. They were at 6 points favorites. Now they're back at 5.5. But we'll go over the numbers. Sharps are all over them. This total's gone from 44.5 to 46. When we go over to where that sharp money is, we have 121,682 tickets in. 62% of tickets, 70% of the cash on the Ravens. 49% of tickets, 61% of cash on the over. The Ravens have Justice Hill with the hamstring doubtful. And, of course, Gus Edwards is still out, which means that J.K. Dobbins is going to get a lot of opportunities. Rashad Bateman is out with a foot injury, which means Devin Duvernay will be getting a lot of targets. And they still are missing Justin Houston. He has a groin injury, their linebacker. Saquon Barkley cleared from the shoulder injury. He said he was going to be cleared, but Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay are both out, and Wan'Dale Robinson is questionable. So we saw what happened last week, and Sterling got a ton of targets because of that. And then Azeez Ojulari is the linebacker is doubtful, and Leonard Williams is questionable. So I kind of understand why this over starting to get touched. What's your breakdown here? And we got to speed it up a little bit. Take it away, Ravens Giants.
The Giants 4-1 versus the spread this year so far. And they've already matched their win total. 4 wins from last year. So Dable's already doing his job. Like I say, I mentioned with the Jets, I like the culture Dable has brought to this team. Don't give up attitude. Same thing I said with the Jets. They only score 6 points in the first half. They come back and score 14 points in the second half. So they're making good halftime adjustments, which I like when a team comes in and does that. So that shows a great mentality, I feel, when you're an NFL team. Lamar Jackson, the Giants blitz a lot, 40%. Lamar is great versus the blitz. He's 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 8.4 yards per attempt, which is top 5. The Ravens are 5-2 versus the Jets all the time. Lamar Jackson is 12-0 versus an NFC team. So, and I feel the Ravens are much more talented than the Giants. So I'm going to be on the Ravens, but I'm not going to take a side. I'm going to take the under because the under is 13-1-1 in the last 15 home games in the Giants stadium. So that's going to be my play number 1. And number 2, I'm going to take Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions, minus 139, because he's hit this prop 4 out of 5 games of the season. He's had 8+ receptions 3 out of the last 4 games. He's averaging 6 receptions on the season, and the Giants have not faced an elite tight end all year. So I feel that Lamar Jackson is going to pick apart that defense. I think that's his safety net, and I think if he gets in trouble, he's going to rely on Mark Andrews to get him a first down. To dink and dunk, to get him out of crucial situations, because I don't think he's going to be able to run a lot, because I think the Giants are going to have a spy on him today because they know that's his bread and butter to try to run out and get first downs. But he will be looking for Mark Andrews today, and I think he will get that over 5.5 receptions because, like I say, he's averaging 6 on the season. So that's my play. The under 40, what is it? 45?
46.
46.
46
okay.
minus 110. Heritage has moved it to 45.5. Pinnacle has it juiced to the under, so maybe other books will follow in Heritage footsteps.
Okay.
And then Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions at minus 129.
Okay, that's better.
I thought that's what you said. Didn't you say 5.5?
No, I thought mine is 139 to juice.
Oh, sorry. I was just listening to you. Okay, mine's 139. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep rolling here. The final spot on your card, LJ, is Arizona Cardinals at Seattle Seahawks. This is the afternoon slate. 73 Fahrenheit, sunny, 4 miles per hour in Seattle. Pacific Northwest has had just incredible weather for the last 2 months while I'm here in the fucking shithole. It's a little better than Parkdale, though. Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. Cardinals, Seahawks. Let's go over the line history here for Seattle at home against the Cardinals team that doesn't have any of their top 3 running backs. Seattle opening up plus 2.5, minus 103. They're now plus 2.5, minus 103. That's just shocking to me. It's shocking that there can only be how bad are the Seahawks that you're playing a team that's now not going to have their 3 running backs? They're going to have to go with Eno Benjamin. And it's a 6-cent move. That's all it is. Unfucking believable. This total's gone from 51 to 50. How bad is the Seahawks defense? Oh, by the way, one thing I did want to mention with this Ravens-Giants game before I know we've moved past it, but after sitting here with this for a while, I think the New York Giants are the worst 4-1 football team in NFL history. I do. Dable is absolutely incredible, but as a football team, we need to talk about the Ravens Giants game more because I would like to move on it as well. For the Cardinals, Connor, Williams, Ward, 3 running backs out. They've got a ton of injuries, but they got guys coming back. Pugh and DJ Humphries, so the offensive line gets some fortification. And Rodney Hudson's still questionable. Nose tackle Rashard Lawrence, hand questionable. Dennis Gardeck, their linebacker, has been cleared. Defensive back Trayvon Mullen is out, and so is Matt Prater out. For the Seahawks, Lockett's being cleared, so that helps. But Penny Hart's out. D. Eskridge is questionable, and Marquise Goodwin is questionable. So the Cardinals have brought up Tyson Williams and Corey Clement from their practice squad to help the running game. God damn. Take it away, LJ. Cardinals, Seahawks.
Yeah, you mentioned how bad the Seattle's defense is. It's bad. And I think the Cardinals going to take advantage of it today. Both these quarterbacks are trending in opposite directions. Kyler Murray has the lowest passing rating through 5 games, which is the worst in his career. Geno Smith had the highest passer rating through his 5 games of his career. And he's only one of 2 quarterbacks to have 2+ pass touchdowns, 0 giveaways in 3+ games. The only quarterback to do that this season is Patrick Mahomes. But the thing about with Arizona with me, Jimmy, is they don't make great play calls to get players open. It's too much side to side instead of north and south, which contributes to the stat that's staggering to me. They are number 1 in the NFL in plays per game, but they're bottom 5 in yards per play. And that contributes to that they're always playing from behind because they start off so slow, which contributes to them being outscored in the first quarter 38-0. And that's crazy to me. So my thing is this: if they could get after Geno Smith, because he has a lot of time in that pocket for some reason to pick apart these defenses. And the Cardinals are dead last in sacks. So Zach Allen and J.J. Watt, they have to get at Geno Smith today. They can't give him time because, like you just said, 3 of his running backs are out. They're bringing people off the practice squad, off waiver wires to try to substitute these players that are injured. So there's no reason that the Cardinals cannot take advantage today. So I really feel that they can do this. This is a very important division game for Arizona. And like I've mentioned before, they are very better on the road than they are at home. 12-2 in the last 14 games on the road. And this is going to contribute to me taking Arizona today, Jimmy. Seattle, like I said, have players coming off the wire. Seattle gives up 235 yards on the ground versus the Saints last week. They allowing 170 yards rushing on the season, which is dead last. And that brings me to my last prop. Kyler Murray over 26.5 rushing yards, -114, because he's hit this prop 4 out of 5 games so far this year. He hit this prop both games in 2019 as a rookie versus Seattle. He hit the prop the last game versus Seattle last year. And like I said, when Kyler Murray has 10+ rush attempts, the Cardinals are 10-0-1. Now, if I know that stat, if everybody knows this stat, Cliff Kingsbury should know this stat. So he needs to implicate some run attempts for Kyler Murray in that offense so they can push this ball down the field so they can have better opportunities to score. And you don't have to always score a touchdown. Just get the team in position to get some better opportunities. He's doing too much side to side, doing these little screen outs. Like, it's just crazy watching Arizona's offense. Like, it just frustrates me, man. And you can take advantage of Seattle. Now, both these teams, they are lackluster on defense, in my opinion. Now, Seattle has given up 37 points in their last 3 games. So they are vulnerable. Now, I will take Seattle first half, but I'm not going to make that official play on the show. My official play on this show is going to be Arizona -2.5 full game, because I think that they're going to take this game today because this is a divisional game. They play better on the road, and I think that Seattle is vulnerable today considering all the injuries that they have. So
you got it. You got it locked in -2.5, -107 for the Cardinals, -2.5, -107. And what was your prop on Murray? 22.5?
26.5 rushing yards.
At what juice?
Over, -114.
-114 locked in. Okay, I can't find the 1.5 field goal prop anywhere. I can only find field goal points for Riley Patterson.
Is it 6?
There's a 5.5 and there's a 6.5.
5.5. What's the 5.5?
It's juicy. It's -148.
No, I don't want that.
The 6.5 plus 110. Would you rather? If we could get people in the chat to look for the 1.5 field goal prop, why don't we keep looking and just hit me here in the chat when we find one?
Okay, how about this? Take that prop off, and I'm gonna give you another one, a game that I didn't do right quick.
Patrick, we don't have to, man. If you
no. Let's take it off. Let's do one that for sure that's gonna be on here. Okay. Patrick Mahomes tonight against Buffalo, over 26.5 rushing yards. Hold on, I got it right here. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I have it.
Don't worry. I can find it here at FanDuel.
Yeah, find it for me. Patrick Mahomes rushing yards.
Here we go for the biggest game on the card tonight. See what FanDuel is giving these rushing props at. And maybe I got to go to quarterback for this. Fuck off. Okay. Man, yeah, not giving it to me.
No, I got it right here. Here. Patrick Mahomes over 27.5 rushing yards minus 130.
Over 27 and a half.
Yes. Yes, because he's had this versus Buffalo. He's had 36 rushing yards in 2000. He had 69 in the playoff game, and he had 29 rushing yards the last 3 games is what he's averaging. So I think he's going to be able to rush on them because, like I said, he likes to rush for first downs when they're covering in that secondary. So watch Patrick Mahomes tonight. Rushing attempts, rushing yards, over 27 and a half tonight versus Buffalo.
Is it really 23 and a half, Riku, on FanDuel?
Hey, that's even better.
Why am I not able to get that?
Good. Shout out to Ragu. Appreciate that.
Huh. Okay. Oh, maybe because it's the stupid Ontario version? I don't know. Okay, can you, Big Ragu, can you confirm that that's 23 and a half for Mahomes and tell me what the juice is? And can anybody find that 1.5 field goals? Here we go. Montez did. Thank you, Montez. So you have your choice now to keep it in. Thank you, Montez. That means a ton. 1.5 field goals is plus 125.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Montez, thank you, man. Okay, beautiful. I didn't want to cost you this because I couldn't find it. Okay, beautiful. All right. Okay. LJ, you are in, my man. Let's review LJ's action. LJ's on Riley Patterson over 1.5 field goals at plus 125. The Jags first half at plus 105. He's on Breece Hall over 59.5 rush yards and Jets team total over 17.5. He's on Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions and the under 46 in Baltimore, New York. He's on the Cardinals minus 2.5, minus 107. And Kyler Murray over 26.5 rush yards at minus 114. And you are on the 23.5 rush yards. Wow, what a find, Rigu. Thank you. At minus 120, less juice as well for Patrick Mahomes. LJ, my man, thank you so much for rolling with us. I love capping with you. I'll be in touch with you today because I'd love to get you on some of the live streams this weekend. So I'll reach out. But thank you, my man. Love to your family, and thank you for rolling with us.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for opportunity. And like I always say, Jimmy, less cash.
Cash, LJ. Let's cash. All right, we roll on. I thought I needed a little boost in my step, so I did pour a little bit of crack in my coffee this morning because feels real good. Let's move on to your next guest. He is making his NFL Pub Hub season debut. He rocked with us last year, but his season debut here right now, coming to us from New York City. Please welcome Domi Gun Richie to the house. Domi, how are you?
How you doing, Jimmy? How's everybody out in the chat? Hey, Jim, LJ needs to have a little bit more excitement in the morning. I don't know what's up with him.
Yeah,
he's a good guy, man. Love seeing LJ. Now I got to follow him. So there you go. I got a tough task. And let's forget about last year's Pub Hub show. That was a brutal show for me. I still remember it vividly as the Jets torched the Bengals, and I had about 3-4 different bets on that game. But anyhow, that's last year.
It's last year. It's a new season, and you are running real nice this year using your 1.5 field goal props. And anybody who's watching right now, our guy, Domi Gun Richie, has a show that pops off at 3:30 Eastern time, right about when the morning games are ending. And we'll talk about that. That's over at Who Bang and Sports Talk. We'll talk about that right when we close up your segment here.
Okay, bud.
Domi, let's get to work. We're not going to talk. We're not going to talk baseball. I mean, because everybody knew it was going to be a Padres Phillies.
Yeah, we all knew that. We all knew that, didn't we? Crazy. Shout out to the Phillies, the healthiest team in baseball. And look, that's if you think about it, they got healthy at the right time. They were all fresh. And shout out to the Phillies. I'd rather see them win than the Braves. Okay, that's enough.
Let's go. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We already heard our guy LJ on this game. And I can tell you that we will cover every game except for the Monday Nighter isn't picked by any of our cappers here. But we have every game going on this week. But we go back to this Giants-Ravens spot. We have had LJ give us Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions in the under 46. And we talked about injuries and market moves, so we don't need to go back there. Let's just hear your action. Take it away, Domi Gun Ravens.
Hey, okay. Yeah, I know. I don't go over all the analytics and all the stats. I mean, we all know those, right? So I try to keep it, try to do a little, different line of capping these games on the shows. But I'm on this game. I'm on this game also. I have 2 open parlays, one from the Braves only win and one from the Astros under the other night. Both hooked up with the Ravens first half -3, which was that line was -125 when I took it. The other one game was -136. I forget the other game, but I have a parlay at 204 and one at 214, both hooked up with the Ravens first half -3, which was -125. Like I said, when I bet it, I also have Barkley under 73.5 rushing yards. I heard an interview. First of all, we know he's a little bit banged up. You never know if Barkley's going to last the whole game. I heard an interview with Harbaugh the other day on the radio, and he said they asked him. This was the question: how do you think Daniel Jones is playing, and what are you going to do to contain him? He said Jones has been playing really well, and we were always focused on every quarterback that plays. But we know the public enemy number one is Barkley, and our team focus is on stopping Barkley. And obviously, that would be the game plan. I like the way the Ravens play, come out early. They haven't closed out games too well. Actually, the Giants have. But I'm on the Ravens -3. I like that game. I like that spot, and I'm on Barkley under 73.5 yards. His carries were like 18. I almost went with that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's a fascinating game, right? And I know why LJ went with the under also, didn't he?
He did. He moved on the under.
The home teams in this series is 4-1 ATS. Baltimore is 18-5-2. The last 25 games on the road, when they're playing an offense that's not turning the ball over, that's not turning over the ball, less than 1.5 turnovers, which is usually not the case with the Giants. They're usually turning the ball over. But on the flips, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jim.
Sorry, what was the juice for the under 73.5?
The under 73.5 is. I'll find that for you.
No worries. Yeah,
I'll find it while we're talking. I'll find that. I have it written down.
By the way, Craig Wood moving on his receiving yards. And a big shout out to Arthur Meade Jr. Thank you so much for the dono, my man. I saw that huge score you had in the horses a few days ago and loved it. Loved seeing it, my man. Respect Arthur Meade Jr. Barkley under 73.5 fresh yards. We're going to get the juice. And did you want to touch on something else in Ravens Giants before we move on?
No, we could go. I mean, listen, it's a tough game, big game for the Giants. I agree with what you said about the 4-2 Giants, but listen, they're playing well, and I think obviously it's not not a big thing. The coach is definitely the reason. I mean, he has the team believing, has the team playing hard. So that's all you could ask for. I'm still waiting for Jones to do his blow up, but listen, they've been playing well. Tough game, big game for the Ravens.
Yeah, and if the Giants are 4-1,
yes,
4-1. I mean, that's just
unbelievable.
It's just shocking. Dable's a monster, and I would like to get. I'm interested. Mr. TOG's also on your Ravens first half. I find that interesting. You can get that at -3 at -120 right now. I'm very interested in that spot.
I bet that early in the week, and it was with the parlays, and it was -125. That was bet online. So
a lot of books have moved it to 3.5, but you can still get that 3 at -120. I'm very interested. Grab us the juice for the Barkley under rush prop.
I will. Okay.
Let's move on to the next spot that Domi Gun is focusing on. That San Francisco 49ers at Atlanta Falcons. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We will start with the line history in this one, and we've talked about it. The Sharps are simply all over the Falcons here. And that's not stopping me from betting the Niners first quarter and first half. We'll see if I'll rue the consequences of that. It just keeps going down. This line keeps going down. Atlanta is now 4-point dogs. I mean, it's just never ending. This opened at 6.5, went to 6, went to 5, went to 4.5, and we're now at 4. All I wanted was the -0.5 first quarter and the -3 first half. So when that became available, I moved on it. Obviously, I should have waited. My God, this is just a runaway train for the Falcons here. Let's take a look at the cash flow, and you'll see the Sharps all over them. We have 123,082 tickets in, 43% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Falcons, and then 66% of tickets on the under, but it's 50-50. So obviously they think there's going to be points scored here cash-wise. Bo Jackson's riding the Falcons, as we call it up here in the north. MDR, that still pissed me off. That will never end. Not piss me off. Someone thinking that we don't know how to spell Falcons. Okay, razor sharp picks moving on. Falcons at +4, trusting this big market move. Let's talk about the injury situation. Armstead and Kinlaw out. It's amazing what this 49ers defense is doing without them. Trent Williams out. And Bosa is questionable, although I did not expect him. But he's questionable, so maybe he's in. And then Davis Price, running back, is available. And then Kyle Pitts is questionable, but we expect him to be back. I don't know if anybody has that information, but I guess the market's telling us that Kyle Pitts is going to be back. And if Kyle Pitts is back, then means that Drake London will get less attention and probably have a bigger game than he's had with Pitts out of the lineup. That's pretty much the situation that we are dealing with. Take it away. How are you betting it?
I took the first half under 21.5. I feel like, I feel like the Giants are going to have a conservative game plan. I mean, the 49ers are going to have a conservative game plan. And see, my mind always reverts to baseball. Huh? San Francisco has going to have a conservative game plan. I mean, the Falcons been closing games late. They've been scoring those points late. I like how San Fran stayed on the East Coast too after playing Carolina last week. I like when teams do that, when they don't go back and forth. I always think that's a little bit of a. I like your play on San Francisco. I've been hemming and hawing. I've been afraid to go against the Falcons today. It's just because, like you said, with this line movement, and we're seeing some big line moves across the board. I guess it's because so many states are legal now, more so than last year. The numbers in New York since January, they said there's $11 billion legally in New York since January. I mean, that's just an absurd number. So you could just see, and California hasn't even come on board. Florida hasn't even come on board. Wait till Big Ragu gets. Forget about it. Those numbers are going to be going to skyrocket. But yeah, you see what's happening. So, but yeah, I like San Francisco. I like this game to start out slow. I took the under 21.5. I've been doing pretty good with those first half unders, and there's a guy. People are hurt, and I think San Francisco knows they're going to have to try to shut Atlanta down. They're a tricky team, Atlanta. All of a sudden, right? As soon as Matt Ryan leaves, they're a tricky team, and where he goes, that's not such a tricky team. But road teams this year, 41-35-3 against the spread. Home teams. 41-37-1 straight up. Here's a good one, Jim. All dogs this year, 45-31-3, hitting almost 60% against the spread. Pretty interesting.
It's wild. We can get you the 22.5 minus 109. And
I mean, of course, I'll take that. Yeah, for the show, sure.
Definitely.
But I took 21.5. I mean, this line is going up, right? And I'll tell you, if this line keeps on going, I might just. Geez, I tell you, I don't agree with the line movement to the over. I really don't. It's kind of making me think that it could be a full game under 2. I just don't like this game to go over. I can't see both teams scoring a lot of points. So we'll see what happens. But I'll take the 22.5, Jim.
We got a speed way up.
Go ahead.
Running a little behind.
Let's go, buddy. I go quick.
We will. Let's keep rolling along. But you are in with that first half under 22.5. We move on to the next spot on the board. 1 p.m. Eastern. New York Jets at Green Bay Packers. 48 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 10 miles per hour. We already went over the injury issues.
Yes.
And those of you talking about the 49ers secondary, I mean, I could have gone on, which I did on our Tuesday show, about the injuries, especially after losing Mosley, and then Ward comes back and then breaks his hand. I mean, I'm just the players that I'm talking about questionable, out, cleared, are the ones that we're not sure about. But yes, the 49ers are devastated injury-wise. Jets, Packers, we've already talked about the injuries here and the fortification that the Packers are getting on their offensive line. But take it away. How are you betting this one, Jets, Packers?
This is the game I took with my field goals. That I'm going into today 13-5 on these over 1.5 field goals. And I'm noticing that a lot of people must be playing it because these numbers are the juice is getting higher and higher on these. But I did take the Jets. I got it at a good number. Over 1.5 field goals, minus 108. Again, on Bet Online. And my field goal, the way I look at it, is a team like the Jets against the Packers is a perfect scenario for me. I think the Jets defense hopefully holds Packers down first couple of drives. And really, you get one of those field goals right away, you're sitting pretty good. What I like, the thing that'll kill you about these over 1.5 field goals is if a team jumps out quickly. If a team jumps out 14-17-0 very quick, you're in trouble if you have that, the team that's losing obviously, because they got to be cooking field goals. Listen, the Jets defense has been playing well. I don't particularly like. I like the Green Bay to win today. I'd be surprised, but I've been wrong about the Jets the whole way through. Shout out to the guys like Sweaty Butcher who I've been toying with. I'm a Jet fan, but I go against them all the time. And to be honest with you, it hurts me. So I like the Jets over 1.5 field goals. I think it's going to be that type of game. Green Bay coming off the Green Bay coming out of the England game. A lot of those games stay under the next week in general. So that's why I took that as the 1.5 field goals.
You got it. Let's move on to Panthers,
Let's
Rams, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. Afternoon action. PJ Walker will be under center. Laviska Shenault still out with a hamstring injury. Robbie Anderson sick and questionable. And this secondary, Dante Jackson and J.C. Horn, both questionable. For the Rams, Cam Akers is out due to personal reasons. And then this team is banged up. We know that that Stafford's had 4 different centers now. Start with this game today because Brian Allen's out again. 4 different centers over 6 weeks, and you can tell. I mean, the offense just not moving. But Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee questionable, Aaron Donald questionable. Let's take a quick look at the line history here in this one because we have not talked about it yet. So we move over. Here we go. We have. Where the hell? This Rams game. Here we go. Rams Panthers. These Rams open up -8.5. They got up to -10.5. They're now sitting at -10, and that's at plus money. So I'm sure there's 9.5s out there. And this total opening up at 41.5, -107 to the under. It's still there. It's still right there. Nothing's changed. From a cash flow perspective, we have 30% line value on the Rams, according to Sports Insights. But the Sharps are all over the Panthers. 38% of the tickets, 77% of the cash. Then 64% of tickets, 66% of cash on the under, and no movement. I came close to betting the first half under, but I've yet to do it. What are you doing here, Domi? Take it away, Panthers, Rams.
I took the Rams -9.5, -116. That's the line I got on Bet Online. I just think this is going to be one. I don't understand the money going towards the Panthers. I don't know. Listen, the Rams' defense obviously has been better than their offense, and I don't think the Panthers have much of an offense that the Rams have to worry about. I don't, I think we're going to look at this game when it's over with, and everybody's going to be like, why didn't we take the Rams? I really feel they're going to win by 14 points. I think the Rams is one of those breakout games. We haven't seen it. Everything's going against them. Listen, it's week 6 now. I just can't believe that it's going to stay like this with the Rams. It was just simple for me. It jumped out at me, right or wrong. I know the Rams are 1-4 against the spread. We know everything about the Rams. I just think this is the game for them to get right, and I took the Rams -9.5. When I was able to get the 9.5, I was hemming and hawing with the 10. The 9.5 sold me. It was -116. I took it.
Well, you got it -110 right now at Pinnacle. Let's go into your final game, Domi Gun, and we got to speed it up. Cowboys, Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'll be live tonight hammering this game, and I can't wait. I love these opportunities. I'm in on the under 42 -110, and I plan to live bet it depending on how fast they're moving the ball. I'm curious to move more on the under, and I would like to get in on the Eagles. The Eagles have been taking a ton of cash. Everybody for the Eagles is cleared, by the way. Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, cleared. Jordan Mailata, cleared. Jake Elliott, their kicker, cleared. Devontae Maddox is cleared. For the Cowboys, Dalton Schultz has cleared. Now, there's an idea that Cooper Rush has a difficult time finding him, and that his props you should bet maybe unders until Dak comes back, but that's up to you guys. Micah Parsons cleared. DeMarcus Lawrence cleared. CeeDee Lamb is still questionable, and Dak, of course, is out. So let's just quickly look at the line history for this one here. This total, I got in late. I got in on Tuesday night, and it was late. But the Eagles just keep taking money. They're at 6.5. Now, it did drop to 6 for a short period of time, but they're at 6.5. Yes. From a totals perspective, it's still sitting at 42 as a pick'em. And when we look at the cash flow here, we have 40% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Eagles, and then 56% of the tickets and 93% cash on the under. A lot of that money came in on the under when it was in their opener. The Pinnacle is very safe with their openers, but offshores opened this up at 45. Some
Yes.
offshores. Take it away. And there's Nutflush Allen on the golf course with Caden, but we'll be posting my plays on Twitter as soon as I get the last minute info
beautiful.
on my numbers. Much love, Nutflush, and have a great
Shout out.
day out there on the course. Razor sharp picks. Gamblers' first glances. Dallas Eagles under 42. What are you doing on this game, Domi?
I took the Eagles team total over 24. I took it actually on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. I took it. I think Eagles remembered the last year's game, both games against Dallas. I know Dallas's defense has been playing great. I have banged Dallas first half and won last 3 weeks in a row. But something tells me that this is going to be the McCarthy screw-up game. This something tells me that the Eagles are, I like the Eagles today. I don't usually back the Eagles too much, but I think they could score 24 points. I didn't take the side, right? Obviously. I went with their team total. But I seen Birdie post a team total under 25.5. And that surprised me that there was such a big difference in those two numbers.
There's
But
a huge difference because you're on the over 24.5.
Over 24 minus 110 team total.
Over 24. Okay. Because,
Over 24 minus 110.
24.5 is plus 108.
And that Barkley was minus 108, by the way. That you just jumped in my mind. That Barkley was minus 108. So that now that you mentioned it, and I did look up that LJ was talking about those field goal props, but I got a lot higher line than you got in the chat. So BetOnline has Seattle minus 141 over 1.5 field goals. So that's such a big discrepancy again in lines, unbelievable. But anyhow, just goes to show you, right? That you got to be looking at books. Team total over 24. And here's my other last little nugget on this game. It's a tough place to play tonight in Philadelphia after the Philadelphia fans have been drunk for 24 hours. They've been I've been following. They went crazy last night in Philadelphia. So, and in Atlantic City, I heard too. I heard at the Borgata they turned down the sound on the Philadelphia Phillies game and put on the sound on the Penn State game. They had like a picture-in-picture going, and the place went wild, I heard, at the Borgata. So the fans have been rowdy, the fans are waiting, and I think Dallas is coming into a buzzsaw tonight.
Oh, I love it. Domi Gun Richie.
Thank you, Jim.
Appearance of the year here on NFL Pub Hub. He's on the Ravens first half -3,
yes.
And I'm very interested in that bet. And Barkley under 73.5 rush yards at -108. He's on the first half under 22.5 in Niners Falcons. He's on over 1.5 field goals for the Jets at -108. He's on the Rams -9.5 at -110. And he's on the Eagles team total over 24 at -110. We got to move quickly, but Domi, quickly before you go, tell us about your show today on our friends.
Thanks, Jim, for having me. Thank you, Paul, for having me. Always honored. Pleasure to always come on with you guys. 3:30, me and DJ Big Boss, we tackle the late games. We talk about the crazy fourth quarters that have been going on in the NFL as we start. So 3:30 to about 4:30. We always have a couple surprise guests. Today is our boy from Ohio, James Lewinsky, Mr. X Nizzle. And we also have MMA podcast Clint coming on today. And supposedly we have the mayor of Philadelphia coming on from early tailgating that he's going to be doing tonight's Eagle game. So
I love it.
Maybe that's a shout out. You should maybe reach out to him, Jim. It might be fun to get him to come on with you tonight on your live stream. As a matter of fact, but that's it, man. Thank you for mentioning it. Who Bangin' Sports Talk 3:30, and of course, Big Rubicu will be on. He's always,
We love you, Domi Gun Richie. Thank you so much
guys
for joining us. And there he is, Ixnizzle in the chat. All right, we move on. Your next guest was with us on week 2. He went 3-5 and was in the black because this man smacks big plus numbers. 3-5 plus 0.35 units. Currently in 8th place in our NFL Pub Hub standings. One positive week, he'll smash into the top 5. The star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Please welcome our guy Clint in the house. Clint, how are you?
What's up, Jimmy? Doing good. How are you today, my brother?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you. We've missed you. We haven't had you on since week 2, and we love you, Clint. Let's get right to work. You start with Jets-Packers. We've already talked about this game. We don't need to hear my voice at all. We want to hear your voice. How are you getting paid, Jets-Packers?
I don't want to repeat a whole bunch of the things that have already been said. I'm on the Jets here, Jimmy. I got plus 7.5. I'm on the Jets. I love the way this team is playing right now. Breece Hall is an absolute monster. I've got him in my Dynasty Fantasy Football League. He's going to drive me to glory. The Green Bay Packers have a hard time stopping the rush, as you guys heard before. So I think Breece Hall is going to have a field day. This young team, they're all believing. They're all playing well. And the Packers just don't look right, Jimmy. I know that's maybe a square angle, but Aaron Rodgers is struggling. He still doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Even when they have won their last couple of games, they haven't covered. They've all been by just a couple of points, by one score. Give me the hook. If you keep this thing within a touchdown, I know the best home field advantage over there in Lambeau Stadium in the entire NFL may come into play, but I think we can stay within a touchdown here. Plus 7.5. I will take the Jumbo Jets.
I can give you that at even money. Do you have interest in an 8? Because I could give you an 8.
I'll take the even money.
Okay, even money. Yeah, 8's minus 116, and there's
no juice. Let me get the better number. I don't think I need the 8.
Clint is in Jets plus 7.5 at plus a hundo. We move on. I can't wait to hear your breakdown of this game. Andy Maltor's on the Falcons plus 6, and I moved on the Niners early and could have waited. And we've already heard here from our Domi Gun Richie on the first half under 22.5. How are you betting Niners Falcons?
Honestly, Jimmy, I am betting the 49ers with you here. I got the minus 4.5. I'm trusting the better defense. That's kind of all this comes down to me. I know they're a little bit banged up. I know they're not completely healthy, but the 49ers defense keeps them in games. And even though the Falcons, I believe they got Cordell Patterson back for this game, he's been a ghost, Jimmy. He hasn't done anything on the field this season. I don't know that he's going to suddenly have some giant breakout performance. Marcus Mariota, he's thrown as many interceptions as he has touchdowns. I'm not overly impressed with his quarterback play. I think the defense keeps us in this game and in fact wins it for us. I got minus 4.5, Jimmy, and I'm also going to take one of those big shots I like. I'm playing the 49ers defense and special teams to score a touchdown today. Plus 450 for that defense to snag a pick 6, back these guys up against the wall. Maybe the special teams, you get a kick return or something like that. There's a couple options for that special teams TD. But I think I'm going to rely on the 49ers defense for this.
Plus 450?
Yep, plus 450.
By the way, your plus 4, just to show you guys how fast this is landsliding towards the Falcons, is now plus 105.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry, minus 4. Excuse me. Minus 4 is plus 105 now at Pinnacle. Holy
That's
shit.
terrifying.
The market is just landsliding towards the Atlanta Falcons. We're 55 minutes before kickoff. We have Clint moving on to Niners special teams or defensive touchdown at plus 450, and he's getting the Niners minus 4 at plus 105. Mr. MDR 24 says, when was the last time a team was 5-0 against the spread? Did they go 6-0 against the spread? Because I don't know, just saying the odds can't be in favor of that. It's wild that the Falcons just keep covering and look like they will continue to cover. Those of you who got in on the Falcons early, great job. We move on. Clint, you move on to a game that we have yet to talk about, and I can't wait to talk about it because it's an interesting situation. Because here you have the Sharps on the Cleveland Browns, and we'll go over it, but the line has moved from 3 to 2.5. So it doesn't really tell the whole story. Obviously, it does. The Patriots at 3 were hammered. The Browns at 2.5 were hammered. So we stand right now. Let's do a quick line history here, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous in the land. Ixnizzle can tell us that. We got to get Ixnizzle on this show. Ixnizzle, let us know if you want to jump on next week. We love you here. 61 Fahrenheit, sunny, 13 miles per hour. It is a beautiful day in Cleveland. And this game is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to watch this. This opened up at Pinnacle at 2.5 for Cleveland, So, but even then, it's taken 8 cents of action over to Cleveland at that 2.5 number. And look, Dennis Garcia got Atlanta plus 6 on Sunday night. Great job. Pats plus 3 for Sammy Comer for 2 units. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. Patriots, Browns. Here we go. 113,788 tickets in. 42% of the... Wow, this has changed. 42% of the tickets, 51% of the cash now on New England. So we've had a flip Interesting. But the Browns are getting more and more juiced at 2.5. So, And then from a total side of things, 43% tickets on the over, 84% of cash on the over. I also moved on the team total over 19.5 for the Patriots. So let's go over the injuries. Mac Jones still listed as questionable, but Zappi going to be under center. Damian Harris is questionable, but we saw what Ramondre Stevenson is capable of doing as the sole back. He's a big boy. Jacoby Myers, questionable. So is Nelson Aguilar. But this is just the way they do things over with Belichick. Everybody's questionable all the time. They got their center, David Andrews, cleared. Their middle linebacker, Raekwon McMillan, questionable. And both cornerbacks, Jalen Mills, Jonathan Jones. Oh, Jalen Mills is cleared from the hamstring injury, but Jonathan Jones, questionable. Myles Garrett, cleared. Good to go. Jadeveon Clowney, out. Denzel Ward, concussion, out. Take it away for us. And there's Spenny letting us know Harris is out. Nasty Nate on the Pats trifecta. Whenever we need New England information, those are the two guys we get them from. Take it away for us, Clint. Patriots, Browns.
Jimmy, this is a game where I'm not overly interested in betting the side, if I'm being honest for you. To everybody's disappointment, since we haven't talked about it all that much, I think this is a very close competitive game. And, the Patriots, they're coming off that big shutout win in their last game. Teams that have shut their opponents out and then became road dogs the next week have not fared overly well in NFL history. So I'm not running to the window to play either of these sides because I agree the Patriots probably are the side, but I'm a little spooked off of the fact that that's a bad trend historically speaking. And, the lines I'm seeing, the Browns are back up to the -3. So it looks like there's some buy-in here on the -2.5. I'm not touching the side on this one. What I am looking at is a player prop, though. This kid, David Njoku, he has become the security blanket here in the Browns offense. He is a fantastic tight end. He's a big body, and his receptions, his targets, he's just getting more and more and more of them. Like first game of the season, he only had 1 target, 1 reception, and that was it. But then he exploded 5, 10, 7, 6. They are using him more and more in this offense. And it seems like the Patriots are giving up some targets to the tight ends. I mean, you look back at the Ravens game, Mark Andrews had 8 targets for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, I can't compare the kid to Mark Andrews. That guy's a monster. He's the favorite target of Lamar Jackson, so not quite the same. But what we can get, Jimmy, is just a couple of receptions. I think they've got the line set at 5.5 for 3.5 for Mr. Njoku. And that's all I need. I need over 3.5 receptions. I think this kid can get to 4, especially if this is a close competitive game, especially if the Packers are struggling to maintain the lead a little bit. They're going to go to this kid, and I think I can get 4 receptions out of him.
And what was the juice with that one? Pull it up for us, if you can. Okay, we're going to get the juice here. Njoku over 3.5 receptions is where Clint is going. All right, we have one final game on Clint's card. It's nice to have you back, Clint. We have missed you. Cardinals, Seahawks, Lumen Field. We've talked about this spot already, so we don't need to hear my voice. The biggest note here is that the Cardinals are missing their top 3 running backs, and it's Benjamin's game now. Benjamin. So take it away for us. Cardinals, Seahawks, how you making moves?
Well, Jimmy, Benjamin is a good, solid backup. They're going to use Benjamin. He's going to have it day-to-day. And then Kyler Murray is going to use his legs as well. They'll make up for those running backs. It's not going to be that big of a deal. The big story for me is that Kyler Murray finally has a semi-healthy receiving group, right? Zach Ertz has been struggling with injury. Seems like he's getting a little bit healthier. We get Rondale Moore back today. So it's not just going to be Hollywood Brown running routes out there for him. Because of the way that these teams give up points, because of the way the Cardinals offense can explode, they're better on the road. I'm going to trust them here today. I know that's terrifying to get behind the Arizona Cardinals this season, but -2.5 Cardinals on the road. I still don't believe the hype over in Seattle, Jimmy. I know Geno just keeps on doing the damn thing, but I think eventually he's going to go back to being the backup quarterback he always was before. And I think Kyler Murray can outgun him today. Give me the Cardinals -2.5.
Cardinals -2.5. Sorry, were you able to find me the juice on the Njoku prop?
Let me pull that up. The stream cut out on me, so I didn't quite catch that question earlier. Give me one second.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the juice on the Njoku prop. I'm going to line shop for you on the Cardinals here.
3.5 plus 110.
Plus 110. Okay, dope. -106. -2.5 and -106 for Clint here on the Cardinals. So that means we have both LJ and Clint on the Cardinals. And plus 110 is the juice on Njoku. I love it, Clint. You have been missed. Let's review Clint's action again. 3 and 5, but plus 0.35 units because the man loves his dogs. He's on the Jets plus 7.5 at even money. He's on the 49ers minus 4 plus 105 and 49ers special teams or defensive touchdown at plus 450. He's on Njoku over 3.5 receptions at plus 110. And he's on the Cardinals minus 2.5 at minus 106. What a day it is for you. I know you guys love football in your household. Enjoy it very, very much. And thank you for rolling with us. Is there any news for Die Hard MMA Podcast? Anything you want our fans to know about?
A big show coming up this week, Jimmy. Big show. UFC 280, one of the most stacked cards we've ever seen. Biggest card of the year by far. Going to be breaking it all down on Monday right here on Pub Sports Radio. Had a nice little night last night, so hopefully we can put some extra bullets in the clip here today with the NFL, and then we're going to have a hell of a week this week in MMA action.
I absolutely love it, Clint. Thank you so much for hanging with us, and we will be watching tomorrow night. We'll have both our streams going at the same time. And hopefully maybe you can jump over to us after you're done. I don't know if that's possible, but I know you've had a busy week. But if you can, we'd love it. So
hey, if I get done before the end of the game, maybe I will. The show usually runs a little long on these big pay-per-view cards, but I would love to make that happen if I can, Jimmy. Thank you for having me, my friend. I've missed being on the show. Still not 100%, but we're getting there. Good luck, everybody, on all your action today.
We love you, Clint. There he is. Started I Heard MMA podcast. Clint McLean in the house. We go from Clint McLean over to Jacksonville. Our guy, Jacksonville Zoo, was top 5 all year last year here on NFL Pub. He got off to a good start week 3. Week 4 hurt him a little bit. Sitting 4 and 5, down 1.39 units, and ready for winners right now. Please welcome Jacksonville Zoo. How are you, Zoo?
Doing well. I'm going with reverse psychology today, Jimmy. I'm going Colts blue so my Jaguars can win.
I noticed that game is not on your itinerary.
No. After that Houston game, I was sitting there in the stands, and that was a pitiful performance by the Jaguars. All that hype after shutting out the Colts and then going to San Diego and winning, it's gone. It's officially gone.
Okay, let's go to work. Let's get to work. Also, Razor Sharp Picks has given us his goods. This is his full card. Thank you for sharing that with us, Razor. He's got 200 on the Falcons plus 4, 200 Tampa Steelers over 46. Interesting, because I was but the Sharps are all over the over, so I wasn't going to go under, but I wasn't sure if Bengals Saints under 43, Jets plus 7.5, Colts minus 1.5, and Dallas Eagles under 42. I love it. All right, let's get to work. Zoe, you start with the Ravens and the Giants. We've spoken about this game, and we've heard people's looks. The Ravens have all the sharp money. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I like the Ravens minus 5.5 here, Jimmy. I just can't buy into this. The Giants are off to a great start. But team-wise, the way the Ravens play, it's a bad matchup for the Giants. Lamar Jackson is looking phenomenal. I just think the Ravens are too much here. It just comes down to the strength is that Ravens offense, and I think they will score. And the defense for the Ravens has been playing better since the Bills. Well, they've had 2 debacles in the second half, Bills and Dolphins. But I don't see them doing that in this game. The Giants' offense will be held down. This game's going to be 21 or 24-10 type of game. Ravens will dominate beginning to end.
I love that breakdown. I think if I can still get that first half, because usually I have a few bets that I move on throughout this breakdown. God, it's too juiced now. It's moved to 3.5. Fuck. I'd like to get in. I'd like to get in on the Ravens. Maybe.
I saw that, Jimmy. I have the 3.5 at minus 105, and I was like, I really want a 3 on that first half.
I imagine that the answer. Well, how about this? Let's just ask you. If I gave you the option here, a free $500 bet on this spot, and you could either, let me pull up the numbers. You could either take the Ravens team total over 24.5 or the Giants team total under 20.5. What would you take?
Giants team total under 20.5. Because I think if any team's going to score, it's going to be the Ravens. But that half on that 24.5, I think the Ravens score 21-24. I just don't see the Giants scoring more than 17.
Nasty Nate, I'm using the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in my Survivor. All right, we roll on. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. I love this show. Man, we got our guy Zoe on right now, C-Mac, and then Sharpie. That's how we're banging this one out. But thank you guys for joining us here at Pub Sports Radio. We've got looks coming in from everybody. Trans-Canada also on the Falcons here. BJ's on the Packers, Rams, Ravens, Cardinals at 500 a pop. BJ making big moves. Astute Chaos went under 45.5 in that Tampa Bay-Pittsburgh game. Ron Crawford on Giants plus 5.5. Cincy moneyline, Miami plus 3. Arizona moneyline, and Dallas plus 6.5. And Tone Miggins in the house. Tone, our guy, is on first quarter moneyline 3-way minus 105. Levels play of the days on the Ravens trifecta. I want to get in on the Ravens. I got to figure out how to do that. Okay, let's move on. And the next spot for Zoe is a big one. Niners, Falcons. We've talked all about this spot. It's just a landslide market moving so quickly towards the Falcons, but I keep making money on the Niners early, and I'm going back to the well. I just wish I had waited. Take it away for us, Zoe. Niners, Falcons.
Yeah, this one's pretty simple, Jimmy. It's a lot like your breakdown. I mean, the Niners were their scripted plays, come out fast. I like them first half minus 3. The Falcons have to run the ball, and I don't see them. Yeah, they may come back in the second half. That's why I'm not doing first half full game. But, man, the Niners are going to be up by 4 to 7 points or 10 points at halftime. Falcons will do their normal third and fourth quarter comeback and make it close at the end like they've done a few times this year. But the 49ers are really good in that first half. I really like the way that you look at that, and I think that it's cashing today.
Well, I hope it is. I mean, it is the house's money I'm fucking around with, but I'm a little nervous. NFL spreadsheet play today. Wow, Ron going right up against. Well, it's, you know what, with the Olave news. I mean, the markets moved quickly towards the Bengals, and I guess that's what he was waiting for, is that news that he's going to be out, even though we weren't sure with concussion protocol. But the Sharps been on the Saints all week. But Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is on the Bengals, and spreadsheet play today in baseball is on the Yankees for Ron Crawford. I love it, Ron. Thank you for sharing that with us, my man. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board for you. Zoe, is the biggest game of the day. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Molitor on our Tuesday Gridiron Gamblers, he cheated this total to 55, and he got plus 105 for it. How are you betting? Oh, we haven't actually talked about this one too much. Trent McDuffie, the Chiefs cornerback, is doubtful, and their defensive back, Rashad Fenton, is out. Yes, that hurts. And the Bills are getting healthier. So they have Isaiah McKenzie cleared from concussion protocol. Dawson Knox, foot cleared. Tremaine Edmonds, hamstring cleared. And Jordan Poyer has also been cleared. We go over to the line history in this one quickly. This is the biggest game for sure that we get to talk about all day today, and possibly the most exciting. I wish it was our Sunday nighter. The Chiefs opened up at plus 1.5. They were plus 3 for a long time. Now that plus 3 got up to minus 125 at Pinnacle. Now they're hanging at 2.5, but you can still get them at plus 3. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 54 minus 107. At Pinnacle, it's at 54 minus 113. And then from a cash flow perspective, 145,000 tickets in, 57% of tickets, 61% of cash on the Bills, and 27% of tickets, 39% of the cash on the under. Interesting. How are you betting this? Zoe, take it away. Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah, Jimmy, on this one, it's the same as, do you remember the Kansas City Chiefs at Tampa? Everybody was on Tampa, Kansas City, big revenge game. It's the same thing here for the Bills. This game means more for the Bills right now. They got to get over the hump. I think Kansas City feels like they can go into Buffalo and probably win in the playoffs with all their playoff experience. So I like the Bills here minus 2.5. I think that they come in here, they're going to be the more urgent team. And they typically, I think they get over the demons today and beat Kansas City today.
I do too. I have yet to move on it, and the game, I feel like I just almost just want to just watch it and not be sweating out my action here. I agree, and I think your angle makes a ton of sense. That's not your only look on this game, the Bills
No.
minus 2.5. What else are you doing?
Yeah, so the other thing I like to do in these big games, and I did it yesterday with Hendon Hooker with Tennessee and Alabama, is you have a really big game like this and you have a running quarterback. Hendon Hooker's rushing yards are over 31 yards yesterday, and he just crushed it. So I like both quarterbacks here over rushing yards. I think they both will hit it. But I end up going with Josh Allen over 47.5 rushing yards at minus 125. I think that he will get to at least 60 yards rushing tonight, just the way he is their running game. Believe it or not, an NFL team, the quarterback is the best rusher on the team, and he'll easily surpass this 47.5. Big game. He's willing to put his body out there. He's willing to run the ball. He'll do this in these games, and then when they're playing a lesser team, he probably won't run as much. But tonight, 4 o'clock, he will be running the ball more because he wants this win.
He does want this win. There's no doubt about it, and you've got it locked in. Josh Allen over 47.5 rush yards. The Bills minus 2.5 at minus 110, and move over here. We have the Niners first half minus 3. And my bad, you do have another game, and it's my fault. I did this wrong. You have Cardinals Seahawks. Right. Cardinals Seahawks. My bad, and I apologize for that. Cardinals Seahawks. Oh, and there's Robert Cherry's action, Officer 50. I'll take a look at that in a second. But let's move over to this Cardinals Seahawks game, and I apologize. I didn't have it in there listed. I apologize to our producer, Jose. I didn't have his Cardinals Seahawks game listed, but we've spoken about this game. 2 cappers we have on the Cardinals. Nobody back in the Seahawks here, and the Cardinals missing their top 3 running backs. How are you betting this one?
Yeah, we've heard a lot from people about this game already. I'll just tell you, Jimmy, I'm on the over 50.5 in this game. Seahawks defense is terrible. I mean, they allow points after points. And Geno Smith, believe it or not, Geno Smith is a top 10 quarterback this year. Who in the heck would have thought that? I mean, there is no way in the Cardinals defense. If you remember back a few episodes ago, I said their DVOA is worse than the NFL. It's gotten a little better than that, but the Cardinals don't play defense either. So I think this is going to get into the upper 50s pretty easy, over 50.5.
You got it, Zoe, locked in. Thank you so much for joining us, my man. We love having you on these days where the Jaguars aren't at home, and you will be there watching. So thank you for joining us, my man. Follow Zoe on Twitter, at Zoe, with a series of numbers after that. We've got to fix that. I'm going to get somebody to get our best man over there to fix that for you. We love you, Zoe. Go get that cash, and thank you for joining us, my man.
Thank you, Jimmy, and good luck to everybody in the chat, and good luck to you, Jimmy, today, and I hope everybody has a great day.
I love it. There he is, Jacksonville Zoe. We go from Jacksonville to Las Vegas, Nevada. Your next guest joined us on week 4. He went 5-4 plus 1.95 units because he gave us Hawkinson over 49.5 receiving yards. He went for 170. He gave us a Hawkinson anytime TD plus 170. He gave us Rashad Penny anytime TD plus 160, and the Rashad Penny props over. So there was a lot of cashing for our next guest. Please welcome to the show from Las Vegas, Nevada, Connor Mack in the house. Connor Mack, how are you, my man?
Jimmy, what's up, my man? Good to be here on Sunday. Last time should have been better, and really week 1, which was disastrous. And I gave you out all those props week 1, but it didn't make official, and they all won. So we're going to stick to it here for a little bit, because I think props in the next few weeks, either I got to look at unders or stay off them a little bit, because, they start catching up. These numbers have gone up and up with some of these guys I want. So just to shout that out.
Well, yeah, your props have been masterful. So I noticed that you're focusing on them and focus on what gets you the cash, man. I get it. I completely get it. Let's get to work now. I told you that all the games would be covered, and thankfully Connor Mack is doing that because we haven't talked about some of these big ones. We've already heard from Toite Latte that he will be in a garbage can if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't cover 8.5. We head over to Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 62 Fahrenheit. mostly sunny, 10 miles per hour. 10 miles per hour. Let's talk about this Bucks Steelers spot right now. We're going to start with the weather we'll do the line history. I just gave the weather. The line history here is now at 10 for the Steelers. They're now 10-point dogs. This has been all over the place, but the 10 is juice, so there's a lot of 9.5s out there. From a total perspective, it opened up at 43. It's now at 46. And the sharps have been on the Steelers. It's really tricky to quantify. 48% of tickets, 68% cash on the Steelers, yet this market's moved from 8 to 10.5 and then back. So hard to say that, the sharps are on that if the books are so afraid of this Buccaneers spot. Maybe it's the teasers that they're afraid of. There's so many different ways to look into it. 35% of tickets and 80% of cash on the over in this one. Godwin and Russell Gage are cleared. Julio Jones still doubtful. Cameron Brate is cleared, and the Tampa Bay's injuries on defense continue. Akeem Hicks out, and their defensive back Logan Ryan out. For the Steelers, Pat Freiermuth, concussion out. There's a lot of problems here. Cam Sutton, cornerback, out. Akilo Witherspoon, out.
Jeez.
Levi Wallace, concussion, out. Minka Fitzpatrick, out. Their strong safety, Terrell Edmonds, out. Oh, no, cleared. Sorry, Edmonds is cleared, and their center, Mason Cole, is cleared. And we saw with Freiermuth out, Zach Gentry caught 5 of 6 targets for 43 yards in week 5, so he can still roll. How are you betting this? And if you could touch on your feeling side and total, because you're the only capper talking about this game, C-Mac, take it away, Bucs Steelers.
Well, let's just get the elephant in the room since all the guys in the chat. Yes, Dodgers blew it. They suck. What do you want? They're bums. They didn't get it done. Padres did. That's just it, when it comes down to it. Pretty sad, though, a team that good, I knew they needed to get a base hit.
The Mariners, 116 wins. Yeah. I was it was before I was really gambling much when they had 160 wins, but I was so invested in that baseball team, like just from a fan perspective. Yeah. And to watch them get kicked out of the playoffs by the Yankees was just like, oh, fuck.
Hey, this is normal for me now. Dodgers, they win the regular season. This whole laying off to the last month, too, is just no go, I think. I hate teams that do that. And you see a team like the Padres get hot, who 2 months after the trade, they got Soto, were horrible. So that's baseball. Get out of the way. Yes, everyone, mourning, blah, blah, blah. Shout out to all my guys in the chat. Let's get to this one. Yeah, this is jumping on both sides, Jimmy. I can't really, Tampa, Pittsburgh, what the sharps are on. Now the line keeps going up. I think there'll be points here. You mentioned all the injuries. I think there's got to be. I think the Bucs will be able to move the ball. And you know what? The Steelers would have had more points. They had a ton of yards. They got down, obviously, big to the Bills. But they put up a bunch and couldn't really score anything in that one. So I lean over in this spot, but I think getting back a few of his receivers, Brady has a pretty good day. But I stuck with Fournette here. Let's get to the prop, over 61.5 rushing yards. Steelers were dead last year in the league. This year they're 22nd. They're giving up 130 a game. And just every game here, Bengals 130, Pats 125, Browns 170, even the Jets had over 100. Bills had over 110, and they don't run the ball. So Fournette gets this easy. You could look at his touchdown, but it's not plus money. But I just want the rushing yards. I think he gets this easy, over 61.5, minus 105.
Fournette, over 61.5 rush yards locked in for C-Mac. Move on to your next spot, and it's Baltimore Ravens at New York Giants. Sharps all over the Ravens. Market moving towards the Ravens. I want to get in on the Ravens, but I'm not entirely sure how to do it. First half minus 3.5. I'd rather get it at the 3. I don't want to pay the money for the 3. I should probably just take a full game, which I may end up doing. How are you making money on this Ravens-Giants spot?
Real quick, I'll get to the prop. If I were on the Ravens, though, I'd be on first half. Jimmy, I would not mess around full game. Not with the number of 5.5. The way they've looked in second halves, just no way. Obviously, I'm going to Lamar Jackson. He hasn't had a touchdown in a couple games. You can obviously look at his yards. I always think's money. Giants give up 130 on the ground. Not very good. Bottom 10 in the league. He should have had one last week, Jimmy. The goal line there, and just have him get in against the Bengals, both teams. And then Burrow finally snuck it in. Give me his anytime touchdown, plus 130. I think he gets it today. He hasn't had one in a couple of games. I think it's money here today.
Plus 130 on Lamar Jackson prop. That's Ravens, Giants. I get it. I completely get it. I completely get it. And I think you're right about the first half. I fucking hate the 3.5s.
You gotta have the 3.
Yeah.
So
Should I pay for it? I guess I'll take a look and see what it will cost me. I don't. Okay, let's move on. We'll move on. So that's Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown at plus 130. Next spot is another spot that hasn't been talked about at this game, and it's amazing that this move to the Bengals has come through. What up, JR? Great to see you. It looks like it's come through because of the Olave information. Because you have Landry and Michael Thomas out, so Olave becomes so crucial, and now he is out. He's not coming back from concussion protocol. And Marshawn Lattimore out. So Andy Dalton will be getting the start. We saw what the Saints team can do creatively, with Kamara and Taysom Hill. They still have ways to beat you. And the Sharps were all over the Saints until the Olave news. And then it's just been a massive line move towards the Bengals. Ron Crawford already gave us the Bengals as his spreadsheet play of the day. And I guess it doesn't really make sense to even talk about where the cash is. 126,940 tickets in, because it's all coming back now. It's 41% of the tickets, 46% of the cash on the Saints, but this was 70% of the cash on the Saints before the Olave information. Now you have 69% of the tickets, 67% cash on the under. I wonder, so it's 3 right now, and the Saints plus 3 are even money. There has been a 5-cent move in the last 20 minutes on the Saints, but from a total, I guess it's because that 3 got the plus money and people just started hammering it. This total's gone from 43.5 to 42.5. I know that you're focusing on a player prop, and this player prop makes so much sense with T. Higgins right now, with the ankle injury, questionable. We saw what happened to T. Higgins last week. He got no love, and so your player prop makes so much sense when I was looking at it. And I'll let you talk about it, not hint too much at it. But if you could touch on side and total a little bit, because no other capper's talking about it, we'd love that. Take it away for us, CMAC Bengals Saints.
Wow. Sharpie, he's out. I just thought he might have been activated. So, I just glanced, though, because I wanted to look at that. I was going to do it right when we got off. Even if he's in, Higgins, I like this prop. I took it one time earlier with the Dolphins. The number was similar. But that's Boyd. But let me touch on it. Sorry. I like the Bengals. It was one. I think they win this football game. There's too many injuries with Dalton. I think Burrow has his best game. That's why I'm on Boyd as well. I think Chase gets his. I didn't reach for his 75.5. I think they handle business. The last couple of games I saw Kirk Cousins throw for 275 and Geno Smith for 265. They both had a couple TDs, I think, in that one. Both got up in the 30s. So I think the Bengals move it here. Bengals defense has been pretty good, bend but not break. Saints are at home. So we'll see. Now that they got the 3, I'm not on it. I got it at 1 here with the Bengals. I think they take care of business. Now, listen, the Bengals have played all tight games, Jimmy, all under 3 points. So except for the Jets, sorry, they blew them out. But all the other ones were.
Okay,
but I think.
Sorry to interrupt, but he is listed as active.
Yeah, okay, he's active.
Higgins is active. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought I had on here. Perfect. That's anyways, the 3 now, I can't endorse the Bengals, even though I think they get it done. But yeah, that's why I'm on Boyd over 42.5. I almost maybe take his touchdown prop too. It's over. He hasn't had one in a while. I think this would be the game if he gets one. But 42.5. I heard all week, I've been looking at all the reports, Bengals sites, they want to get him the ball. This guy's too good. You look at his numbers, even before Burrow got there, years before with Dalton, this guy had some great years, and he's still young, 26, 27. I think this is money. They try to get him involved early and often. I didn't jump his passes to like 4.5. I think it was just 3.5, but the juice was huge. So I just stuck with the yards. I think they take a couple big shots here. We easily get over 42.5.
You got it locked in over 42.5 receiving yards minus 110 for Boyd. That there's the whole. When I looked into it, it just made so much sense. Samaje Perine, by the way, has been cleared, but Hayden Hurst beat up, T. Higgins beat up, so it just makes a ton of sense. Okay, that is the next prop for CMAC. Let's move on. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. the biggest game of the week. How you getting paid here?
I'll be quick. Zoe just talked about this just a few minutes ago. I wonder where he was going to go. He said both of them, but he went the other way, and I'm glad because last night I took Patrick Mahomes. We looked at his games against the Bills. I did 865, 5 for 5. That was last year. 8 rushes, 61, 7 for 69. Big games like this, he mentioned it. Spot on. He's going to take off, do whatever he can to get a first down. We saw it. This is hitting the Super Bowl, shit like that. Even his anytime touchdowns, real nice. It's almost 4-1, Patrick Mahomes. Not that he's, Allen gets more of that and his is lower. But at this number, and it's shooting up, but I got 23.5, minus 112 on Mahomes. I think he gets that easy tonight.
Over 23.5, minus 112. These props make so much sense to me, and this one especially. Yeah, this game means so much to both quarterbacks. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to risk themselves.
Yeah.
That's why we always want to wonder, is the quarterback going to risk themselves? And when they do, you know that they're going to fight and push on the ground. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, there was another spot on the board that you were thinking about, and you weren't sure if you were going to pull the trigger, and that's in the Cardinals-Seahawks game, Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington. Did you make a decision on that spot?
I wanted to shoot it out to the chat. I had looked around only a few spots. I couldn't get even money for this because I want Kyler Murray over 1.5 pass TDs. I think the Cardinals can score 24 plus today. And I think that's 2 touchdowns for him. He's only had it twice this year. I believe the Panthers he had 2 and the Chiefs in kind of garbage time. Second half, this Seattle defense is not very good. We've seen how bad they are. The secondary gave up 260 a game, 26th in the NFL. They're just not very good. I just couldn't get something around even money. If somebody found it out there, or I'm going to keep looking, maybe even minus 105. I think he gets it today over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
But it's a stay off at this point.
Yeah, I I got like minus 115 or around there right now.
Okay, so that's
the afternoon game. I'm gonna look. I'll write you or
yeah, no, of course. Yeah. If you send me a message, I'll tweet it out for you. And absolutely. Okay. Just text me. Big Ragu says, Connor, I already bet that on Mahomes, so you are in good company right there. All right, let's review C-Mac's action here on our show. He's on Leonard Fournette over 61.5 rush yards at minus 105. Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown at plus 130. And Yuli was looking. That's the best he can find too, is at minus 115. T. Boyd over 42.5 receiving yards. That makes so much sense. Mahomes over 23.5 rush yards and a possible Kyler Murray pass prop. King Combs says San Francisco now minus 3.5. I can't believe I could have got the 2.5 on the first half. I never thought that it would go under 3. And obviously,
wild.
Very vulnerable there. C-Mac, thank you so much for joining us. C-Mac is the star of our college football action here on Pub Sports Radio. The Monday Hitting the Books is our most popular show on the network. So check it out every Monday. And that pops off at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m.
Eastern.
Sorry.
1 Eastern.
1 Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern. And then every Saturday morning, he's the star of NCAA Football Pub Hub. Keep up the great work, C-Mac, and thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure, Jimmy. Get that cash. And I always got to say real quick, to the best goddamn chat out there in the goddamn game, period. Shout out to all my guys. I can't hit all you. I'm sure Jimmy will to end this show. And get that cash, baby. Peace.
I love it. There he is, C-Mac. Yes, Bosa is out. Let's move on to our final guest. And he's not just our final guest. He's also the star of the program right after this. The debut of the NFL Pub Zone starts today, right at kickoff. Join Sharpie as he talks about all the action while he watches NFL Red Zone. It's going to be a great show, and it debuts today. The star of that program right here, right now. Started off with 2 winning weeks, week 1 and 2. Went 1-2, down 1.29 units in week 4, but he's our 7th ranked capper here out of 17. 5-4 plus 0.41 units. Please welcome to the show from San Diego, California, Sharpie in the house. Sharpie, how are you?
Let's not say that San Diego proudly right now. You know how loud my town was screaming last night? Like they've never won a playoff game in 24 years. Oh, they fucking haven't. So let's not fucking get too excited. Yeah, Connor already did all that Dodger bashing for me. I thought about breaking my fucking Cody Bellinger Rookie of the Year bobblehead, and I was like, yeah, maybe this dude will turn it around. It's worth something one day. So let's get to this shit because we got shit to do, my guy.
Let's get to it. Yes, because I'm also wanting to make some moves on some Ravens
quick.
action. You get yourself started in the very game I'm speaking of, Ravens Giants, and this look that you what did I just do? Sorry, this look that you have makes a ton of sense to me. We have a couple injuries. First off, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards are out. And that means that there's one running back who is going to be getting the rock a lot. Also, from the wide receiver spot, you have Rashad Bateman out, which means Devin Duvernay is going to be getting a lot of targets. How are you making money here? Take it away, Ravens Giants.
J.K. Dobbins, rush yards over 43.5, plain and simple. The Ravens have been easing in Dobbins and has played the last 3 weeks. And man, is this dude running with some fucking juice. He's had 13 and 8 carries the last 2 weeks with 41 or more yards. And now he gets a Giants team that's 21st versus the rush. Yeah, this is a fucking smash spot. I expect this man to keep taking the bulk of the rushes and getting near to that 75% work share that a top Ravens back would work. You're never going to get 100% fucking with Harbaugh. So he's had back-to-back 40-yard performances versus top 10 teams versus running backs ranked by Yahoo Fantasy Sports. And now, like I said, he gets a Giants team that's been getting gashed to a tune of 132 yards on the ground. My favorite thing, like Connor brought up, was fucking Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson freezes linebackers, and that leaves running lanes. Running lanes for Dobbins. Oh, no, he's going to break a 40-yarder in this game. So sign me up for the 43.5.
Do you have 43.5? Because I retweeted yours and it said 45.5. Am I wrong?
Oh, 45.5. My bad. This was the 43.5, 45.5.
Okay.
43.5 was Prize Picks when I talked about it on Prize Picks. My bad.
No worries. No, it's all good. I just for my record keeping. So we have here 45.5 for Dobbins, but I like this look. It was moved on last week by Bebsy, and he only got 8 carries, and he almost still got there. It was 50.5, and I believe he got about 44 yards. We expect him to get the rock more than 8 times tonight.
Yeah, I expect them to get him 10 to 15. They're gonna they've been easing him back in, and the reports were all about easing him back in. They were never gonna just here you go full workload, and he's shown he's ready, guys. And this offense, this defense, oh god.
Oh, I like it. I like it. So that's how Sharpie gets his card started. Sharpie, you can join him 15 minutes from now in our new show, NFL Pub Zone. Your next look, Carolina Panthers, LA Rams, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. We talked about the market moves and the injuries already. How are you getting paid?
This right here is a get right spot, guys. This one where everyone's going to be talking about how good the fucking Rams look after today, and just remember who the fuck they're playing. They're playing a team that just lost their coach and with their backup quarterback. Don't tell me their backup quarterback's better because they would have fucking started him. Trust me. The guy didn't want to lose his job, even though he is getting $40 million to sit on his fucking ass. But we're going to go Darrell Henderson, rushing receiving yards over 78.5, minus 114. Now I get it. He had 0 carries last week and only seen the passing work for the Rams offense. But now Akers being rolled out, and he gets a bottom 10 defense and 27th in the NFL versus the rush, allowing a $138 on the ground. This is where the Rams get right, and it all starts with the rush, which will finally actually give Stafford fucking time to throw. And this is just, to me, a simple spot. The only time they've played a bottom 10 team this year has been the Atlanta Falcons, and they ran the ball 25 times with Akers getting 15 and Henderson getting 10. They had 2 catches for 18 yards in that game. I expect Henderson to see 75 to 85% of the work. Give me those 15 carries to the lead back, and this easily catches.
Henderson rushing, receiving over 78.5 yards. I love that you have a prop on the next game because it's the most exciting game of the day and all eyes will be on it. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, 64 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 14 miles an hour. How are you getting paid in the big one?
This one is simple, but I'm not going to say Connor's bet probably is my favorite bet of that, but I found the way to screw these offshores over. So I'm not going to give this out because I'm not going to give you the way how I found the glitch, Bovada. But at the end of the day, I took Mahomes versus Brady, Stafford, and Rodgers rush yards at a minus 250. And yeah, dude, that guy's had 4 carries in his last 3 games, had over that 26 yards in his last 3 games. So that's just a couple things to add on to what Connor was talking about versus with Mahomes. Mahomes rush yards is a great spot, but I'm going to go Stephon Diggs receiving yards over 85.5. Is it 85.5? Because that was my prize picks number.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. The Chiefs are the 24th in the league versus the pass, and any top wide receiver this year that had a quarterback to throw to him has fucking 8. Mike Williams from the Chargers, 8 catches, 113. Mike Evans from the Bucks, 8 catches for 103. Devontae Adams last week, 3 catches for $124. Like, let's not get fucking cute here. Diggs has had 3 top 100+ yards game this year. He's hitting 100+ again. This Chiefs defense is a fucking sieve versus the pass, and this is his number 1.
Yes, this is fun. It's a fun addition to the game. If I give you a free $500 bet on a side at 2.5 in Bills Chiefs, what would you move on?
I can't go against the Mahomes ATS. That is legit. I've been riding it quite a few times, but I'll probably wait to live bet it. Bills get up, and I'll get near that touchdown then.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's review Sharpie's action here. Diggs over 85.5 receiving yards. Henderson rushing receiving yards over 78.5. And Dobbins rush yards over 45.5. That is Sharpie. And tell us a little bit about your show that debuts in 11 minutes.
Let's talk about it, guys. I know tonight Jimmy has his live bet stream, and I got to pop on there and give some comedic relief when needed, but this will not be like that. This will be a play-by-play of Red Zone. You tired of listening to that annoying-ass dude on Red Zone? Guess what? You got Sharpie now to go play-by-play. I've got multiple computer screens pulled up to pull up stats, to talk actually prop bets and side total bets while we're going through Red Zone. So it's going to be stats, it's going to be scores, and it's going to be fucking highlights for 3.5 hours fucking straight. So come join me, turn your favorite TV program on, watch your game, put YouTube on in the background, and let me call Red Zone for you.
I love it, Sharpie. I love it. Bring Sharpie back for a sec. Let me bring it back for a sec. Thank you, Jose. Sharpie, I love it. Have an awesome show today. It's exciting to have a nice addition like this to the network, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So watch Sharpie today and every Sunday starting at 1 p.m. and go get that cash. And yeah, I'd love it if you could jump on the show tonight too. I'll be in touch about that.
Hey, I'll be there, bro. Come on, man. It's Sunday night, and it's, bro, no lie, I have not lost a live bet, prop bet at the half. It's been so stupid. It's kind of a crazy roll I'm on, but it's simple to understand how a coach is going to call a game if they're up or down. It's just, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, there he is. Sharpie's bets in the house. Catch him in 10 minutes time. Let's do a quick review, and then I'm going to decide how I'm going to bet the Ravens here. And that will be my only addition. Usually I'm more. Now I'm really nervous about all my action. But let's go over everybody's action here. Riley Patterson over 1.5 field goals for LJ. Jags first half plus 105 for LJ. He's also on Breece Hall over 59.5 rush yards, and the Jets team total over 17.5. He's on Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions and the under 46. Then he's on the Cardinals minus 2.5 and Kyler Murray over 26.5 rush yards. Oops, there we go. All right, and then we have also Mahomes over 23.5 rush yards as well. Domi Gun Richie is on the Ravens first half -3 at -120, which is gone. Barkley under 73.5 rush yards at -108. Love under in the prop market. Thank you, Vipe, my man. And he is on the first half under 22.5 at -109 in San Francisco, Atlanta. He's on over 1.5 field goals for the New York Jets, and he's on the Rams -9.5. Razor sharp picks. Gambler's first glance is the Sunday nighter under 42. I'm on that as well, but Domi Gun is on the Eagles team total over 24. Clint gets his card started with the Jets plus 7.5. Then he's on the 49ers -4 at plus 105, and the special teams or defensive touchdown by the Niners at plus 450. Then he's on over 3.5 receptions from Njoku, and he's on the Cardinals -2.5 at -106. So that's LJ and Clint on the Cardinals. The rest of Razor's card is the Tampa Steelers over 46, Bengals Saints under 43, Jets plus 7.5, Colts -1.5, and Dallas Eagles, as I said, Gambler's first glance under 42. He's also on Falcons +4. Zoe gets his card started with the Ravens -5.5. I'm wondering, do I take the Giants team total under? I might be leaning towards that actually, but fuck. I might be leaning towards that. Then we have Zoe on the 49ers first half -3. He's also on Arizona, Seattle over 50.5. The spreadsheet play today in football from Ron Crawford is the Cincinnati Bengals, and then baseball, it's the New York Yankees. Then Zoe's on the Bills -2.5 and -110. Remember, Andy Molitor on Tuesday, Gridiron Gamblers, cheated that total up to 55 at +105. He's also on Josh Allen over 47.5 rush yards. C-Mac gave us Fournette over 61.5 rush yards. He gave us Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown at +130. Tyler Boyd over 42.5 receiving yards. Mahomes over 23.5 rush yards. And he may give us a Kyler Murray passing touchdowns over 1.5. It's -115 right now. He doesn't want to pay that juice. Dobbins for Sharpie over 45.5 rush yards. Then Henderson rushing receiving over 78.5. And Stephon Diggs receiving yards over 85.5 at -110. Thank you guys, all of you. We have no show without you. I have 7 minutes to get my Ravens action in. But thank you so much for your support of our channel here. It means the world to us. We have Sharpie's NFL Pub Zone. And then I have the Sunday Nighter with the Cowboys going up against the Eagles. Oh, God. Little divisional rival action. Mike M. Catered to you by Chef Jeff. Missed you, Chef Jeff. And thanks for rolling with us. Control your vessel. Cheshire Cat, Trans Canada. Alex Ramirez started the Spidey play today. The Nuke Worker, Mally Mal, Kobe Hartman, Chip Plylar, Real Deal Prime, Big Daddy Boom, Mr. Vape, Nelsanity, Joe, Andrew G, Perfect Rotation, Officer of 50, Damon Santore, Lit Picks. Thank you guys so much. Rem Most, Nut Flush Allen, Dennis Garcia, Big Ragu, Smith Legacy, Razor Sharp Picks. All you guys, thank you so much for your support. Paul Trippy, we love you guys now. Let's get the fucking money. Let's go out there and get that cash. Big Sunday. Join us here in a few minutes for Sharpie's brand new show. And then catch me tonight for a big Sunday night football match between the Cowboys and the Eagles. And thank you to my producer, Jose, who does such a great job behind the scenes. Also, check out his video. It's out right now for Yankees Guardians. That pops off tonight. And on behalf of Jeff Slaughter and everybody here at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for your support. Now let's go out there and get the fucking money.